global phenomenon. With serious issues, mankind choose to fool around. Then they go find out, facing real consequences, that when you play totish games, you win foolish prizes. The mighty US of A, look how them in disarray, because they forget the first dose of madness. So with the short-term memory, they welcome back Donald T to give that fascist a second term in office. But after they take the bait and they realize where's the fate, enough of them want to change the votes, but it is too late. You see the FA, FO, I say the FA, now they got FO. Plenty immigrants made their choice. Uncle Donald they supporting, but he put their support on ice and themselves he start deporting. FA, FO, I say the FA, now they got FO. But now Donald breaks in because it now so keen. He naming the Epstein files, so they now studying like they voting a presidential pedophile. FA, FO, I say the FA, now they got FO. You see when you're ever wrong, there's no doubt. Even Uncle Sam will find out that what's sour in Bam Bam starts sweet in the mouth. When you shout FO, tell you that is the call. Oh, say, can you see? You see the call? Come in. Trinidadian love all fours, you know that is the truth. So when America trump, we just follow suit. If them MAGA morons is America's concern, well, we present government is easily the clones. From 2010 to 15, the tenure was so obscene, scandalize the land and destroy we economy. But like we miss the free for all, incompetence and bubble, so we bring them back to finish mash up the country. And as they assume their roles, I set a square peg in wrong holes. Now petty people who help them win at the polls. Feel the FA, FO, they say the FA, now they got FO. The two worst Alexanders in the world and to make ministers. One is a racist troll and one need a West Indian first primer. FA, FO, I say the FA, now we got FO. Meanwhile, Tanti setting up TNT in people worship how we in place. She should have let the Yankee army plant the red eye in Pink Palace. FA, FO, I say the FA, now she got FO. You see when you're ever wrong, there's no doubt. Persona non grata must find out that what's sour in Bam Bam starts sweet in she mouth. Sing it out, FA, FO, I tell you that is, tell them that is the code. Cause when cold yellow wins, corruption begins. Where's the real code? Let me talk to the doc. Doc, you had the mandate of most of the electorate, not to mention the support of your party base. Somehow you took that to mean you could manipulate and dictate the decision of who should take your place. And because you were the top dog, you move like an overlord. You find when you tell them jump, they should have asked how high. You set out to sway the vote, offer up a young scapegoat to just get a kobo sweat after you say bye-bye. You delay party convention, play with party constitution, and figure you could have gerrymander the outcome. But your FA, FO, got your FA, and then your FO. You chain up the young man for truth to snap the election fingers fast. Although every poll warn you that would have be a short pass. FA, FO, got your FA, now all of the FO. So for your voters who stayed away, you certainly have a part to play. But they feel like they get betrayed, like it had snake in the body. Say FA, FO, I say your FA, now all of the FO. You see when you're ever wrong without doubt, even strong leaders find out that But so I in bam bam start sweet in the mouth. When you shout F-A-F-O, and the doctors tell them that is the code. So let's do this. Let's do this. Red and ready to oppose. Give me a F. Give me a A. Another F. Give me a O.
Coming soon to Constructive Talk Network, Critical Thinkers. It's a youth show with a youth perspective on current affairs and issues in Trinidad and Tobago. Critical Thinkers, youth perspective on Constructive Talk.
The information provided by the speakers and or presenter on Facebook and YouTube is for general informational purposes only. All information is provided in good faith. However, Constructive Talk makes no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of this information. The information provided by the speakers and or presenter on Facebook and YouTube is for general informational purposes only. All information is provided in good faith. However, Constructive Talk makes no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of this information. The information provided by the speakers and or presenter on Facebook and YouTube is for general informational purposes only. All information is provided in good faith. However, Constructive Talk makes no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of this information.
Here today. I want to start by reading a quote for you that is trending online now. Someone sent it to me and I saw it so many times. I think it's good for us to read this quote. I'm sure when I start to read it, you will be familiar with it. It says, out of hatred for the cockroach, the ants voted for the insecticide. Out of hatred for the cockroach, the ants voted for the insecticide. They all died, big on in the tail, including the housefly that didn't even vote. They all died, including the housefly that didn't even vote. It says an African proverb, but it could be a Trinidadian and Tobagonian proverb. It is so true of our situation here today. All they have jokes.
If you're UNC, if you're TPP, PNM, PEP, or any other affiliation, I see you. You'll be treated equally and fairly. I made a promise that everybody will win, and I plan to fulfill that promise. If you're UNC, if you're TPP, PNM, PEP, or any other affiliation, I see you. You'll be treated equally and fairly. I made a promise that everybody will win, and I plan to fulfill that promise.
I pledge to you all that I will be a leader who in turn listens, and that my decisions will only be arrived at after collaboration and always, always, always in interest of what best serves Trinidad and Tobago. There is no room for personal egos, no time for personal agendas, and no opportunity for self-glorification. This is not about us. It is about the people, and they have the power to dismiss us at any time.
Blue Water's sparkling water. Pure refreshment. Perfectly carbonated.
This is a very significant moment for us. As you know, Kwame Ture, formerly known as Michael, was born in the city of Port of Spain, was raised on Oxford Street before he migrated. He was a significant figure in the Pan-African movement globally. He's a son of the soil that made a tremendous impact all across the globe, from North America to the shores of Africa, all over the globe. There has been calls over the last several decades for just this exact activity to take place, to honor the work and the legacy of Kwame Ture by changing the name of the street where he was born, Oxford Street, in the city of Port of Spain, in his honor.
Idea. Today we'll compare an indentured servant to a slave. An indentured servant is a person who agrees to work for someone for a set period of time under contract. The person who they agreed to work for paid their travel expenses to the colonies. They were only required to work a set number of years, and they gained their freedom. Slavery is a system where a person is kept against their will and forced to work their entire life with no guarantee of freedom or human rights. Slaves were captured or traded in exchange for goods and transported to the New World in the hull of ships like chattel. Once they arrived in the New World, they were normally auctioned off to the highest bidder. Most slaves worked on plantations in the South. And an overarching big idea. Today we'll compare an indentured servant to a slave. An indentured servant is a person who agrees to work for someone for a set period of time under contract. The person who they agreed to work for paid their travel expenses to the colonies. They were only required to work a set number of years, and they gained their freedom. Slavery is a system where a person is kept against their will and forced to work their entire life with no guarantee of freedom or human rights. Slaves were captured or traded in exchange for goods and transported to the New World in the hull of ships like chattel. Once they arrived in the New World, they were normally auctioned off to the highest bidder. Most slaves worked on plantations in the South.
Look at this Muslim guy praying on a mat on the pavement in front of Fatima College. But before we get to that, let me explain to you all why this, and also this were wrong. This photo was taken in 2023. Just had it in the archive. You know, you never know when you might need something. It might come in handy, and here we are today coming in handy. You are seeing a Muslim guy praying on the pavement in the hot sun on top of a mat. What you're going to see now is him kneeling down. He was praying. And then you're going to see a student from Fatima College waiting for him to finish praying. And when he's finished praying, sanitize his hand, whatever, and he comes and he makes the sale. After that, maybe a half an hour pass, he starts praying again. Another customer approaches, realized that he was praying, and she stood back and waited for him, and the cycle repeated. After he finished, he served her, and life continues. And that is because historically, the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago has always been a melting pot of different races, different creeds, different religious beliefs, and also tolerant of different lifestyles. And it's because of that, everybody have their own thing. The Shouter Baptists have their holiday, the Islamic faith have their holiday, the Hindus have their holiday, and so too people of African descent have their holiday. And the reason why things have been running so smooth for so long is because no one ever really encroaches on someone else. While bro has the right to pray on the pavement, a Shouter Baptist, for example, also has the right to come and pray on the pavement, or worship on the pavement, ring bell on the pavement, sprinkle holy water on the pavement, but it will be very intolerant of them if they were to go next to him while he's praying and start making noise and sprinkling water and ringing a bell. Exact same thing goes for the East Indian community. That is an East Indian holiday. That is for you all, because there's a difference between a multicultural event and a culturally inclusive event. Two different things. So we are allowed to partake in the festivities as people of African descent, but it is not about us. And we understand that, which is why when you go to an event around Indian Arrival Day, you expect to see things like this, because that is a part of the festivities, it's a part of the culture, and no one questions it. That is why something like this was so out of place on African Emancipation Day. Nobody's against an East Indian dancing on stage. But time and place, set and setting, you all were wrong for that. The same way how the Indian High Commissioner was wrong for even suggesting to put the Indian Diaspora Day on African Emancipation Day. You all were wrong for that. You're wrong. I don't care how you try to spin it, doctor it, edit it, twist the English language to suit your narrative. You was wrong for it. If you want more proof that they were trying to overshadow us on African Emancipation Day, hear the speech by Bro.
Invites us to reflect on the courage, resilience, and determination of those whose struggles against slavery and indentureship.
You're wrong, and you know what you were doing. These people are stoking the flames of racism and then hiding their hands like, we're not racist, we are doing nothing racist. Or you could come and try to lump the African slave trade and indentureship and put it together to make it seem like yesterday was about the two parties. No, you're wrong for that. Rowley was right, you know.
Interestingly, juxtaposing slavery with other struggles is what prompted former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley in 2024 to rename Emancipation Day African Emancipation Day.
I have noticed at the international level that there are other people who are attempting to climb onto the emancipation bandwagon and attempting to add appendages to it. We in Trinidad and Tobago who led on this matter will have none of it, and we make it quite clear that emancipation in Trinidad and Tobago is as a result of the emancipation of slaves.
You ever heard about a pre-approved loan, like a pre-approved mortgage or a car loan? Hey, you see you, with your racist thinking stuff, you pre-approved for election also. Because of everybody who held the post of Prime Minister in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, you is the worst. You and the rest of the crooks in the UNC have already lost the next election.
And they have the power to dismiss us. I pledge to you all that I will be a leader who in turn listens, and that my decisions will only be arrived at after collaboration and always, always, always in interest of what best serves Trinidad and Tobago. There is no room for personal egos, no time for personal agendas, and no opportunity for self-glorification. This is not about us. It is about the people, and they have the power to dismiss us at any time.
If you're UNC, if you're TPP, PNM, PEP, or any other affiliation, I see you. You'll be treated equally and fairly. I made a promise that everybody will win, and I plan to fulfill that promise.
Meanwhile, historian and author Dr. Claudius Fergus used the Emancipation Day event to highlight the ongoing push for reparatory justice. Fergus described the abolition of chattel slavery as one of Africa's greatest contributions to humanity. He appealed to the Prime Minister to reconstitute the National Reparations Committee, which was terminated 10 months ago.
On this site, last year, she committed to reparations. And 2 months later, the Minister of Foreign Affairs dismantled the committee. Now, there's nothing wrong with dismantling the committee, but I believe there's something fundamentally wrong with leaving a vacuum.
Is raising concerns over what she describes as bureaucratic delays affecting vulnerable citizens. Welcome back. Well, despite being publicly thanked by a United States Senator for Trinidad and Tobago's assistance in the capture of former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, the Prime Minister is maintaining this country's military played no role in the operation that led to his arrest. Kamla Persad-Bissessar was responding after CNC3 News asked her to address what appeared to be a contradiction between Senator Jim Rish's remarks on Thursday and her own statement issued on the day Maduro was captured. Rish credited Trinidad and Tobago with playing an active role in Maduro's arrest, but the Prime Minister rejected any suggestion that TNT's military participated in the January 3rd operation in Caracas that culminated in Maduro's capture. Persad-Bissessar also declined to speculate on what the senator meant and said she cannot speak to what he intended to communicate. Rather, she said TNT played no active role. Now, Rish's remarks came during Thursday's Senate Foreign Relations Committee for U.S. Ambassador Designate to Trinidad and Tobago, Jennifer Johnson Carroll.
Trinidad and Tobago is a fellow democracy and a key U.S. economic, diplomatic, and security partner in the Caribbean. Trinidad has benefited from and actively participated in U.S. initiatives like the Caribbean Basin Trade Partnership and the Caribbean Basin Security Initiative. And most recently, Trinidad has played an active role in support of U.S. law enforcement efforts in the region, including the arrest and extradition of Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela. We are very grateful for this work. I look forward to hearing you.
The Prime Minister told CNC3 News that this country continues to have good relations with Venezuela.
Recently, Trinidad has played an active role in support of U.S. law enforcement efforts in the region, including the arrest and extradition of Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela. We are very grateful for this work.
Well, despite being publicly thanked by a United States Senator for Trinidad and Tobago's assistance in the capture of former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, the Prime Minister is maintaining this country's military played no role in the operation that led to his arrest. Kamla Persad-Bissessar was responding after CNC3 News asked her to address what appeared to be a contradiction between Senator Jim Rish's remarks on Thursday and her own statement issued on the day Maduro was captured. Rish credited Trinidad and Tobago with playing an active role in Maduro's arrest, but the Prime Minister rejected any suggestion that TNT's military participated in the January 3rd operation in Caracas that culminated in Maduro's capture. Persad-Bissessar also declined to speculate on what the senator meant and said she cannot speak to what he intended to communicate. Rather, she said TNT played no active role. Now, Rish's remarks came during Thursday's Senate Foreign Relations Committee for U.S. Ambassador Designate to Trinidad and Tobago, Jennifer Johnson Carroll.
Trinidad and Tobago is a fellow democracy and a key U.S. economic, diplomatic, and security partner in the Caribbean. Trinidad has benefited from and actively participated in U.S. initiatives like the Caribbean Basin Trade Partnership and the Caribbean Basin Security Initiative. And most recently, Trinidad has played an active role in support of U.S. law enforcement efforts in the region, including the arrest and extradition of Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela. We are very grateful for this work. I look forward to hearing you.
The Prime Minister told CNC3 News that this country continues to have good relations with Venezuela. The political fallout continues over Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar's decision to miss the Emancipation Support Committee's flagship celebration yesterday. The opposition is tonight accusing her of disrespecting a national observance, and the Prime Minister is insisting the controversy is being driven by political division. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar is accusing the PNM of using Emancipation Day to, quote, denigrate, humiliate, and tear down Indo and Afro-Trinidadians who don't support their political party. She added that she did not mind if supporters insult and call her racist names. Responding to questions about the Independence Day parade, she went on to say, quote, that's all the PNM and their supporters care about. Rum drinking, fetting, whining in the road, and getting freeness from the state, end quote. Committee's flagship celebration yesterday. The opposition is tonight accusing her of disrespecting a national observance, and the Prime Minister is insisting the controversy is being driven by political division. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar is accusing the PNM of using Emancipation Day to, quote, denigrate, humiliate, and tear down Indo and Afro-Trinidadians who don't support their political party. She added that she did not mind if supporters insult and call her racist names. Responding to questions about the Independence Day parade, she went on to say, quote, that's all the PNM and their supporters care about: rum drinking, fetting, whining in the road, and getting freeness from the state, end quote. But opposition leader Penelope Beckles described the Prime Minister's absence as disdainful, arguing that emancipation belongs to all Trinidad and Tobago and not any political party. Beckles also said the government was seeking to avoid public criticism, but the Prime Minister says she believes the PNM could not attack her, so the next best thing was to abuse Michelle Benjamin, whom she called her daughter. She said the members of the Emancipation Support Committee sat on the stage and looked on as Benjamin was attacked. The Emancipation Support Committee says it will comment on the controversy at a later date. Meanwhile, political analysts say the Prime Minister's absence reflects the difficult balance between political calculation and national leadership. Political scientist Dr. Bishnu Raghunath believes Persad-Bissessar may have stayed away to avoid the emancipation celebration becoming a political confrontation. But he says leaders should expect public scrutiny and criticism. He also argues TNT must have more open conversations about race to strengthen mutual respect.
I would have thought that the Prime Minister has very tough skin. And, she has choices to make, and she has made certain choices. We fail to address, based on the fact that we do have to put the discussion of race on the table and make it an open discussion. And that, I think, is where we have lost it, in that we don't have that kind of respect for each other's cultures and everything else.
Well, political analyst Dr. Winford James, meanwhile, said while the Prime Minister has attended emancipation celebrations in previous years, her absence this year may reinforce perceptions among some sections of the public. James also took issue with the Prime Minister's remarks, suggesting the opposition invite Star Sabga and Genevieve Hadid to perform at next year's emancipation celebrations, arguing that the country's leader should avoid being drawn into such exchanges.
I'm feeling good, after so long struggling without electricity, I'm a children, after pushing the CNC tree,
We apologize for that error. Persad-Bissessar attended the Emancipation Village in 2025, where she pledged to pursue reparations for the African diaspora over the transatlantic slave trade. During her first term as Prime Minister, she attended the event in 2011 and 2012, missed the 2010 ceremony, was absent because of illness in 2013, and did not attend in 2014 or 2015. And those stories take us to tonight's People Say question. We asked, do you believe the Prime Minister should be more diplomatic in her use of language?
Of course, and all her ministers. All her ministers need to be more diplomatic. They have youths looking at them.
The Prime Minister is a waste of time in this country right now.
I would say that women supposed to conduct themselves within a certain way, with that kind of respect and that dignity. And that's supposed to govern the way that you rule.
Yes. She has to remember that she's a head of state and not get caught up in the rhetorics and the different, stuff that is flying out there in Trinidad and Tobago. She has to take a position of non-violence, she just abstained. Basically, she needs to abstain from all of that. I am the head of state. All of that is not for me to decide. It's not for me to make comments.
Well, I love my Prime Minister, and I find she does song really good, and she's doing a great job.
Stand that the Honourable Kamla Persad-Bissessar is unable to join us this afternoon, but no.
Welcome, Minister. Not at all. No. Not on the stage. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me. Don't tell me that. Whoa! Don't tell me that. You know I'm right.
Good morning. We will remember that you promised food tomorrow while we are hungry today. We will remember that you promised food for tomorrow while we starve today.
We hold on to the commitments of our political leaders, and we keep those commitments, because when they're made today, tomorrow we will see that they are delivered, and I'm sure they will. Thank you, Minister. I'm sure those commitments will be delivered.
Understand that the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bissessar is unable to join us this afternoon, but no.
Welcome, Minister. Not at all. No. Not on the stage.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me. Don't tell me that. Whoa! Don't tell me that. You know I'm right.
Good morning. We will remember that you promised food tomorrow while we are hungry today. We will remember that you promised food for tomorrow while we starve today.
We hold on to the commitments of our political leaders, and we keep those commitments, because when they're made today, tomorrow we will see that they are delivered, and I'm sure they will. Thank you, Minister. I'm sure those commitments will be delivered.
Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bissessar says she's looking forward to what she calls round 2 of attempts to boo her on Independence Day. Responding to CNC3 News today, the Prime Minister did not say whether she will attend this year's Independence Day celebrations. Instead, she accused the PNM and its supporters of planning to target her after what she described as a failed attempt during the emancipation celebrations, saying their plan failed because she did not attend the ESCTT's Emancipation Village. Her comments come days after the opposition criticized her decision to skip the event, calling it disrespectful to one of the country's most significant national observances. Well, former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is accusing the Prime Minister of pursuing what he called hateful and vindictive policies that threaten the country's social stability. In a statement posted to Facebook, Dr. Rowley rejected claims that the People's National Movement is behind public criticism of the Prime Minister. He also accused the government of implementing policies that have hurt thousands of citizens, claiming they have been taken bread out of the mouths of tens of thousands of people, including children. Dr. Rowley went further, alleging that Prasad Bissessar poses a danger to the country's social and racial stability and needs to stop. The Prime Minister has not publicly responded to the comments.
Member of Parliament for Barataria Sanwan, Saddam Hussein, is accusing the PNM of staying quiet in the face of what he described as violent, toxic attacks against the East Indian community. In a statement, Hussein said the PNM's silence was deafening and claimed the party was afraid of its financiers. He also pointed to comments by PNM Senator Renuka Sagran Singh Suklal and MP Kareem Marcel, claiming they fueled racial division and created the impression the party supported racist remarks. Hussein also criticized a social media post by Dr. Nian Gadsby-Dolly, urging people not to equate indentureship with slavery. He said it is not a competition and argued that all ancestors suffered under colonial rule.
Let them know that is the call. phenomenon. With serious issues, mankind choose to fool around. Then they go find out, facing real consequences. That when you play dotish games, you win foolish prizes. The mighty US of A, look how them in disarray. Because they forget the first dose of madness. So with the short-term memory, they welcome back Donald T. to give that fascist a second term in office. But after they take the bait and they realize where's the fate, enough of them want to change the vote, but it is too late. You see the FA, FO, I say the FA, now they got FO. Plenty immigrants made their choice. Uncle Donald they supporting, but he put their support on ice and themselves he start deporting. FA, FO, I say the FA. Because it now so keen, he naming the Epstein files. So they now studying like they're voting a presidential pedophile. FA, FO, I said the FA, now they got FO. You see when you're ever wrong, there's no doubt. Even Uncle Sam will find out that what's sour in Bam Bam starts sweet in the mouth. When you shout FA, FO, I tell you that is, tell them that is the call. Oh, say, can you see? You see the call? Come in. Trinidadian love all fours, you know that is the truth. So when America trump, we just follow suit. If them MAGA morons is America's concern, well, we present government is easily their clones. From 2010 to 15, the tenure was so obscene, scandalize the land and destroy we economy. But like we miss the free for all, incompetence and bubble, so we bring them back to finish mash up the country. And as they assume their roles, I set a square peg in wrong holes. Now plenty people who help them win at the polls. Feel the FA, FO, they say the FA, now they got FO. The two worst Alexanders in the world and to make ministers. One is a racist troll and one need a West Indian first primer. FA, FO, I said the FA. Setting up TNT in people worship we in place. She should have let the Yankee army plant the red eye in shipping palace. FA, FO, I said the FA, now she got FO. You see when you're ever wrong, there's no doubt. Persona non grata must find out that what's sour in Bam Bam starts sweet in she mouth. Sing it out, FA, FO, I tell you that the mandate of most of the electorate, not to mention the support of your party base. Somehow you took that to mean you could manipulate and dictate the decision of who should take your place. And because you were the top dog, you move like an overlord. You find when you tell them jump, they should have asked how high. You set out to sway the vote, offer up a young scapegoat to just get a kobo sweat after you say bye-bye. You delay party convention, play with party constitution, and figure you could have gerrymandered the outcome. But your FA, FO, got your FA, and then your FO. You chain up the young man for truth to snap the election fingers fast. Although every poll warn you that would have be a shortcut as FA.
Stand that the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bissessar is unable to join us this afternoon, but no.
Welcome, Minister. No, that's all. No. Not on the stage.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me. Don't tell me that.
Good
We
morning.
will remember that you promised food tomorrow while we are hungry today. We will remember that you promised food for tomorrow while we starve today.
We hold on to the commitments of our political leaders, and we keep those commitments, because when they're made today, tomorrow we will see that they are delivered, and I'm sure they will. Thank you, Minister. I'm sure those commitments will be delivered.
All your good, yes? I was lining with some old men before the election, and well, I was amazed of their discussion. They were discussing the election of 2025. How Africans were selling cheap and UNC buying dead or alive. One old man shout out, fellas, give me your attention. UNC can't win by themselves, no election. You see, they're sitting and they're planning to make a decision. So she called out Shilaga, who the old FIFA wanted man. She said, call the trade union, let we start negotiations. And we could call out a big sale and we go buy out some Africans. Africans for sale, for sale, for sale. We buying Africans. Sing the thing. Africans for sale, for sale, for sale. We buying Africans. She don't have all she chance and she the honor rhymes. No, what she need is some slave names, man, some big strong Africans. Africans for sale, for sale, for sale. We buying good or bad. Africans for sale, for sale, for sale. Tobago and Trinidad. Oh, somebody pinch me.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Good evening to those of you locked on to Constructive Talk with me, Pastor Google. It is now 9:25, and here with you guys this evening to discuss current affairs and issues and things that are happening in Trinidad and Tobago. And there are other things happening in Trinidad and Tobago, and I played it for you a while ago. A lot of the stuff that is happening in Trinidad and Tobago. A lot of stuff that is happening in Trinidad and Tobago today is worrying. It's worrying because a lot of us, we laugh it off or we play it off. A lot of us, we I don't know how we thinking as a nation. I sit in here, Anna. I'm trying to come up with a understanding of how we thinking as a nation. Because, you know, I was on the promenade on Saturday. My first time actually. It's my first time actually being out there and for the parade, for the march, the walk. I was my first time being there, and I must say hello and thank you to all the persons who would have met me at the Emancipation Walk. A lot of persons, wow. A lot of persons came up to me and said, Pastor Google, we listened to your program from Mova, Pastor Google, Paradise Heights, Pastor Google, Tigo Martin, Pastor Google, all over people came and they said hello to me and they told me, yeah, you're doing a fantastic job, keep it up. You know, don't study the naysayers, don't study the bacchanalists, don't study the people who trying to get you to stop. And strange enough, it's PNM people who trying to get you to stop, not the UNC people. The UNC people even studying me, to be quite honest with you. You know, the people who gave me the most problem is PNM people. UNC people even studying me. UNC people didn't even talk about me. They don't care one squat about me. But PNM people? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The nasty look. The whatever. I ain't going into that. But yeah. But the walk was a very interesting walk. Very, very interesting walk. I must say, to all the persons again who would have reached out to me and just showed me some love this evening. I want to say thank you to you very, very much for your love and your support and your encouragement, all your encouraging words. All of it, all of it, all of it. All of your encouraging words. I want to say thank you very, very much for all of your encouraging words. And to all the persons, again, who met me on Saturday and was really, really nice to me. A man buy water, a next man want to buy Lucasade. And it was really nice. It was really, really nice, man. And I just want to really appreciate and thank everybody for all that what they have done and all the encouraging words that you all would have given to me on Saturday. You know what I mean? On Saturday, I really want to say thank you very, very much. You can put some thumbs up if you were one of the persons who met me on Saturday so that I could see you in the chat now. Put a thumbs up. Put a thumbs up if you were one of the persons who met me on Saturday and you said hello to me. I really want to send my love and appreciation to you and to your family and everybody else. All the members of parliament who said hello, who didn't say hello, doesn't matter. It doesn't take any skin off of my flesh. Alright, Pastor didn't or don't study them. I hear you. I tell you, really, you know, today was really interesting because so those are the persons, so many persons putting their thumbs up, letting me know that they are the ones that I met on Saturday. All right. Thank you very, very much for putting your thumbs up. Thank you very, very much for putting your thumbs up. I really appreciate you. I appreciate the love and and all the encouragement that you give me. You know, something jumped out at me this week. Today was one of those days when I would listen and do a little research for the program and you know, just listen. Today what was interesting was that I listened to Talk City, the government station. Why I listened to Talk City was because I wanted to hear how the government talk show hosts would have defended what was going on throughout the weekend. So I said, I want to hear how these people are going to defend their prime minister. How are they going to respond to the booing of Michelle Benjamin and the response of the people in the savannah? Now, I was in the savannah when the host made the announcement that the prime minister was not going to attend. Now, to be honest with you, when I heard the host, I thought she said that the prime minister is coming, and when I heard the uproar in the savannah, I was like, wow, these people really want to see Miss Bissessa, boy. That was my first initial reaction because I didn't hear it properly. And then when I hear her say, no, when we have a guest coming to our home, we don't treat them like that. When we have a guest coming to your home, you don't treat them like that. And then she started to chastise the people and say, no, we're not going to do that. And You know, she started to talk about political affiliations. We don't have any, the Emancipation Support Committee don't have any political affiliations and stuff like that. And when I'm hearing talk show hosts saying that, you know, the Emancipation Committee should have to apologize for not standing up for the Prime Minister, I was like, what? That's not true. The lady who was making the announcement, she said, no. When we invite a guest home, we don't treat them like that. And even when they started to boo Michelle on the promenade, Kafra Kamon's son, I forget his name, he came back and he said, no. Not on this platform, not on this stage. No. So when I heard people saying that nobody did not stop them, that's not true. That's not true. They did stop her. I mean, they did speak out against whatever was happening on Saturday. No, I don't know. I could be speculating. I feel Michelle messaged Miss Bissessa and told Miss Bissessa don't come. Or on Saturday in the Savannah, Khadija Amin and a whole host of other ministers were there. And I feel they send a message and tell the Prime Minister, hey, here going on. Don't come down here, nah? That's just my take. I feel somebody may have told her, don't come. I don't know about you, but I wanted to hear your thoughts. Do you think that it was right, though, to boo the minister? But before I go there, as I said to you earlier today, as I was listening to the government station, and while listening to the government station and hearing the narrative of the talk show hosts in the UNC, I sat back and I listened. I don't know if you all want me to play some of it for you, but here now, two talk show hosts had it out, you know. One was saying that he thinks that it was disrespectful to have Indian dance and Indian drumming in the UTT Emancipation event. He thought that it was disrespectful. The other talk show hosts take it to a different level of dunceness. And start to talk about, oh, when you get an accident, then do act no Indian blood. Then when you this and a East Indian doctor come to take care of you, to accept it. And he start to go down into some levels, boy. And all his colleagues is saying to him is, hey, no, I'm not going so far, brother. I'm not going so far. Well, boy, who tell you say that? Man, he started to weigh in and he started to talk and he started to get on. And I, at one point in time, wanted to know, well, what it is really going on in this place, boy. What it is going on in this place. Let's take this first caller. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, my brother.
Hi, good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Don't play it. You don't need to cheapen your platform by disseminating nonsense. And I quite understand what you mean. So I'll go straight to the source of the question. To answer the question, yes, it was right. And I will tell you why it is right. You have yourself over several weeks been asking, what are people going to do? Trinidad and Tobago, what are you going to do? The African Emancipation Day was the first opportunity since after everything concerning the state of emergency that the public has been able to confront anybody in officialdom. In fact, a cabinet member. And the people use the opportunity to send the displeasure. And based on what has happened, I'll tell you something, right? The ESC could say that they are apolitical and they don't support no party. But I want to say here tonight, could you point to me to one initiative besides the Lij Yasu Omawale village and the commemoration of Emancipation Day? Could you tell me of anything else that the Emancipation Support Committee does in support of the African presence and diaspora in the community of Trinidad and Tobago, specifically towards African people? Do you know of any scholarship or any community engagement that they do for the African community, sir?
No, not right now. I could find out.
Right. And hear this, right? Neither do I. That is why I asked the question. And hear this, right? It is quite clear to me that there has been a stratification of the African emancipation celebrations directly by the ESC. And what I'm pointing to is this. We have become, the ESC has made itself and its principles, Dr. Asha Kambon, that is who was speaking there, right? Shabaka Kambon, and from his interview on TV6 this morning, it concretized my feeling about that. They see themselves as the doyen and the protectors of all things around emancipation, African emancipation, right? Forgetting, of course, the pioneering work of one Emmanuel Muzumbo Lazar, who in the last century, till he died, and from the 1800s, the 1890s coming forward, was the one person of African descent who would have commemorated every year with a parade and procession African emancipation. And the Emancipation Support Committee has never acknowledged this gentleman's presence. If they did, I can't recall, because I know the committee's work has been going on for over 30 years, nigh 40 years. I've never heard them give this man this pride of place. And when I heard Shabaka Kambon to Marlon Hopkinson say this morning that Dr. Rowley did not consult them about the changing of the name. And then when he further went on to say that emancipation means not just freedom, but freedom for all. I say, what? Madness he talking about freedom for all. You see, people had to go back and watch over Roots and read Roots by Alex Haley. They need to go and read over The Black Jacobins by C.L.R. James. They need to go and look at a book called Blood Legacy by Alex Renton, depicting his family's slave holdings and the operation of their slave plantation in Tobago. And in the book, that book directly chronicles how the name Bloody Bay came about in Tobago. You need to go and look at Professor David Olosubga in London, who has chronicled the archives of all the slaveholders who were in the West Indies on August 1st, 1838, and how the 20 million pounds to the former slave owners was distributed throughout the whole English-speaking Caribbean. For people to understand the significance of emancipation, African emancipation.
But I think one of the things that is that I think upset some people was when MP Saddam Hussein, Minister of Legal Affairs, equated indentured labor.
I wouldn't say it's a gulf, it's a galaxy. The two things are galaxies apart.
But
you know, there was
simple things,
Jamaican
simple things
overseer.
like
yeah,
simple things
go ahead.
simple things like we don't have our names because the prime minister,
It was ripped from us, and I want to say people had to go over and watch over Roots. I'm sure you would have listened to the afternoon drive this evening.
Nah, they listen.
Okay, but listening, Mr. Marcel was playing the clip from Roots where Kunta Kinte was being whipped to say his name, Toby.
But the thing about it is, but to some people that is insignificant because he could play that a million times, and there are some people will never say. African people will never say that when the opposition leader back then, Ms. Bissessa, said, where you get your name from, your slave, you have a slave master name. People, there are African leaders in this country who said, but she ain't lie, she talking the truth. But she said it in a disrespectful, and condescending way.
Listen to me. Something she was historically correct, but racially and culturally insensitive. That is the point. Those of us with look me, the origin of my name is English. My ancestors had no say in that. And I was going on to tell you about archives that look, Prime Minister Mudley told us about the Barbados slave code that was formulated in 1661 and went on to become the Willie Lynch letter in Virginia. And that slave code was the blueprint on how to break the will of people and dehumanize them into slaves. That was in 1661, the Barbados slave code. And how to dehumanize us. That is what was done to our ancestors. Barbados was the incubator. Barbados and St. Kitts, Nevis and Antigua were the first slave engines in the Caribbean. Then it spread to the colonies up north. I tell you that it's important for people to go back and read the Black Jacobins. When CLR James spelled out what was going on in Sandoma, and I was going to tell you about a man by the name of Thomas Thistlewood, who was an overseer in Jamaica in the 18th century, who documented over 8,000 atrocities and punishments he committed on the slaves that he overseen over. From rapes, from whippings, from having people defecate in one another's mouths and so on, brother. From giving prepubescent girls syphilis. Thomas Thistlewood, the person who wrote Amazing Grace, was a slave transporter. And you want to equate indentureship with that? People here who came and kept the traditions alive? Never happened. And then you have people who look like me and you saying it was disrespectful. I watch the what people say on TV6 News, and I saying, boy, the first prime minister of our country was a historian. People need to go and read his work. From Columbus to Castro. Huh? To educate themselves. Walter Rodney, how Europe underdeveloped Africa. Bye. But what I'm saying is that for me, what Cambon and them trying to apologize for, and even David Mohammed, you go into and talking about the reason why they incorporated the Indian elements is because they didn't have any cultural presentation in UTT for Indian arrival. That is all your faults.
So David Mohammed said that?
Not David Mohammed, the person at UTT, the chairman of the event.
Oh.
Right? And for his part, David Mohammed, analyst was saying that we had to come to a realization that the struggle is a common struggle. No,
David Mohammed said that?
Struggle. Yes.
Nah, man, he didn't say that, man.
And we must be unified. Who more accommodating and unified than African people in this country?
Oh, they're not serious, nah?
Who more? I want to see, but here I was saying, since the Prime Minister called for unity, I want the National Council of Indian Culture to come forward in Diwali upcoming and invite Malik folk performers and African dancers to perform.
They would say that's a religious. They would say that is religious. There's a religion.
You recall when Dr. Raoul went to the event in Akurta? You recall how he was lambasted for that? We trying to do is spoiling the people good. You remember that, boy?
Yeah, but they wouldn't happen. They may not. They may.
And this Prime Minister had the audacity to come wrong and say it's because she called herself a coolie. You remember I told you that last week? And trying to deflect on the word now and say now Kamala Part 2 and all kind of thing.
But
she ready for them.
Well, I think that what will happen is that for the Indian arrival, the people are going to watch to see if they are going to be so accommodated, because Diwali, but Diwali may not. Diwali may not be fitting because that is a religious holiday, so they may not. It's just like you're asking Christian people.
No, I know. I mean the religious holiday, but talking about performers at the Nagar.
No, they would not allow. No, they would not allow that because the Nagar is like a Christian church. So they will not allow that in the Nagar?
No, to me, the Diwali Nagar is a place that's showcasing Diwali.
Yeah, but still, it's a religious. To me, I think it's two different things. Because it's like you telling me. Yeah, but you tell it. It's like you tell it. Yeah, no, but it's like you telling me for Christmas I must invite a Hindu to come in my church to sing. To appear balanced. To appear as though, okay, we accepting unity. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
So you know plenty people of that does hang up more Santa Claus and put up more reindeer than me and you in the house. I need more pastel and black cake than me and you. You know that. You see you laughing, you know that.
Oh God!
Some of them Christmas trees still up in the house.
Yeah, but I ain't not allowing. I am not allowing no Hindu. I not allowing no Hindu in my church. They play no tassa and
sing no
bhajan. So no bhajan. Nobody can listen no bhajan in my church. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
For me, right? For me, I see this thing outside of politics. Because you were there, so you would know. The PNM people who were there were part of the procession as being a part of the African Emancipation Day procession. There wasn't on no PNM thing.
Let me tell you something. When that lady did that, the opposition leader didn't even reach yet.
Thank you. Right? So that's how they want to spin the thing about the PNM always divide. But you see, this is a game, Pastor.
It is.
A part of this administration's narrative to tear down all things that they feel PNM instituted. Because who would have inaugurated the Emancipation Day holiday, later renamed African Emancipation Day. It was initiated by a PNM Prime Minister and renamed by a PNM Prime Minister.
And that's what they they were debating that on the station today. Eh? Here what they couldn't believe that it was a PNM Prime Minister who initiated Michael Chambers. So they were saying no, Chambers do that. Chambers give them one a day, only one chance. But it was Pandey who
the first country in the diaspora to recognize that holiday. He got flagged for taking off Discovery Day. That's why we lost. And with Monday went out when you bring Indian Arrival Day. People forgetting these things.
Who named it Indian Arrival Day?
It was Mr. Pandey when he came in 95. The next year, the first year of 1996, he said, "Hey, we on no Arrival Day. We call it Indian Arrival Day because that is what we're celebrating. The arrival of the Fatal Razak, bringing the first East Indians." I remember he saying that. And that is what the Mahasabha and other Indian groups were lobbying for, Indian Arrival Day. So henceforth, it shall be commemorated as Indian Arrival Day. When Mr. Manning in 95, prior to the election, for giving it, made it Arrival Day. And when PNM came back and didn't change it back, they left it. We had a claim with space. Like I say, I want people to go back and look at these books that I mentioned to you.
So you don't. All right. So you think that it is right, or it was right for the people who boo the minister and for the lady who went up and say, "We will remember."
In comparison to how they would have disrespected former Prime Minister Dr. How they would have disrespected Ms. Robinson Regis and other functions all over, it was tame. The booing was tame.
Okay.
Thanks for the opportunity.
You're most welcome, sir. So the caller is saying that the booing was tame. Compared to what is going on. Man, okay, on Google, that is chalk and cheese. Chalk and cheese.
Understand that the Honorable Kamala Prasad-Bissessor is unable to join us this afternoon, but no.
Welcome, Minister. Not at all. No. Not on the stage.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me.
So let's take this call. But see, you heard the two presenters. One, when she was allowing the people to know that Ms. Bissessor will not be there, the people would have clapped and was very happy that Ms. Bissessor wasn't going to be there. Right? And then you heard when the gentleman introduced Michelle Benjamin, he said, no, not on this stage, not on this stage. Hello, good afternoon. Good evening.
Good evening, Pastor Gold.
Good
and
evening.
to your listeners.
Good evening, sir.
Pastor Gold, two things I was observing that was missing. Pearl Inton Springer and they carry on a freedom morning walk play in front of the Treasury building every emancipation. That was absent. Right? We know after that play we all continue with the march. Right? And when I went up into the banner on the stage, mark up Happy Emancipation. So the word African wasn't there. Somebody could correct me if I'm wrong. Right? The word African Emancipation, just like Indian Arrival Day, the word African Emancipation wasn't there. So Capron Cambon and they clearly and his son and his wife, they are clearly doing what they want. So I would like it to have a referendum in who should control, because that last caller there was totally right. For years we've been saying the same thing. You can't say one thing these people does with the money that they collect. What kind of impact after this Emancipation Day? What shall I say? Nothing from the Emancipation Committee. Not no kind of impact on the communities. No matter what happens to African people in this country, if it have a police shooting, just like in America, the black civil rights leaders will come out and stand for their people. Nothing in this country from them. You hear nothing. They just get rich, and that's the end of it. That's the end of it. I would like to have a referendum. Who's supposed to control the Emancipation Committee? Right? Because I am telling you right now, I'm totally fed up of Capron Campbell and his son and the likes of them. I'm totally fed up. Right? We should have a referendum and let the people decide. Because you see the people who booed on Saturday, they were booing because of the hardship they are facing in their homes. They are booing because some of them, the children can't go to school come September. They are booing because they lost their work and continue to lose their jobs. Thousands of people are home. So when his wife on the podium saying, oh, invite our guests, you telling me, or they continue to use the whip against me, against my kind, and we have licked bottom Africans in front of the podium saying, oh, it's not so we just treat our guests. So my guests could whip me, could beat me, could skin me alive, throw me to the alligators, rape my wife, do me all manner, beat me and say my name is not Kunta Kente, my name is Toby, the guest still doing with that today, Pastor Google. We in this country in Trinidad and Tobago are under SOE and PDOs. Our rights have been taken away from us. If you listen to when the mayor was speaking, I would like to get when the mayor was speaking and play what he was saying, you will understand that he was parroting the whip that we are under because they're using the letter, the law, the state to oppress African people in this country. Right? So let us have a referendum because I don't want Capron Campbell's son and nobody in his circle to lead me. That is not my leaders. Right? I rather Pearl or June Springer or somebody else, not them. Because freedom morning the work, it wasn't there. We could not the reenactment or the white man did the African and how we get our freedom wasn't there that morning, wasn't present. I am totally incensed. The word African wasn't there in Savannah. It was happy emancipation. Right? So, and I know personally the history of them. If they do Capron Campbell and them history, they hate PNM people. They hate anything that is PNM. And I said it book plain and bold and brave tonight. They hate anything that is PNM. From Eric Williams come right down. They hate anything that is PNM. Right? Pastor Gola, I will call back. Because I might say something that I'm supposed to say. I go on.
All right. I'm trying to find that song, No. Shushila. I'm looking to find that song. Anybody know where I could find that song? Anybody could send that song for me, please? I want to play that song this evening. I want to play that Shushila song this evening. Anybody could find it for me? Anybody could send it for me, please? I'll appreciate it a whole lot. Yeah. Let's take this call. Hello, good evening, sir.
Good afternoon. Good evening, Pastor.
Good evening to you, sir. Good evening.
Well, I could say I agree with the first caller. I bet with the second caller. But one thing I mean before I start.
Was the problem with the first caller?
Huh?
Was the problem with the first caller, you say?
No, sir, I agree.
You
with the
agree?
first caller. Yes, I do.
Okay. Yeah, but that your
And-
partner. Remember that your partner,
Okay.
you know. Remember you calling the other night and thank him for.
Anyhow.
Oh, that you laugh? That your emancipation laugh?
No. What I'm saying is that I agree with
But there's
people
nothing
don't
to
read.
there's nothing to disagree with him about there.
No, because people don't read. You telling me basic history people don't know, and the big people in this country.
I don't think it's that people. Well, I just saying, don't vex with me. I don't think that people there's not basic history that people don't know. You know, what I think it is. I believe. I believe that based on and listening to the government station today, the majority of people who call in were African people, and the information that people have or the mindset that people have and the way things are coming across to black people is that here what's going on. The PNM party don't like Ole, you know. The PNM party don't like black people. And because when you look at what's happening and what has happened to you guys for the last 70 years, you know, and that was the narrative. The narrative is that the narrative is really black people are suffering, not because of the UNC. The black people are suffering in this country because of the PNM. That's the narrative, and the reality of it is.
Listen.
Oh, so you're shutting up now? Okay.
No. I say.
Well, I finished. But
I heard the show. I listen to the show. I heard the show. I heard everything on the show, and I can tell you something. They are totally on BS because you can't say that we have over 500 people incarcerated on our PDOs. Who is doing that?
Yeah, but listen to this though. But listen to this, right? And I hear you. But when you listen to the government station that is defending the government, the talk show hosts and who are defending the government, you know that they are on the back foot, right? They are on the back foot. When you hear them attacking PNM and hear them attacking these black people in Trinidad and Tobago, you know that they are on the back foot. You know that they are out there. They are there just to defend the prime minister and to try to maintain the support of the supporters who
maintain the status quo.
But the reality of what shocked me is the amount of black people that call in.
Yeah, that is shocking me. You're shocked. You have no idea how much fully done people out there. You have no idea. When I listen this season, I call my son. I let my son listen to this and let him know how important it is to stay in school and to finish school. So you'll be a big man coming on radio and sounding so dense. You hear what I'm on song today?
Well, I listened from this morning when they were trying when the East Indian guy was trying to educate the African guy that hey, there must be everybody. Come on, in England did they celebrate wherever. In everywhere in the world, people where there's a cosmopolitan nation, people celebrate different things, right? In England, in the month of October, listen to me. In England, in the month of October, it's Black History Month. When there is Black History Month, they don't talk nothing Caucasian. There's no Caucasian talk. When you go into the schools, they're giving you it's Black History. You go to a church, Black History. All the churches in England that's be talking Black History. They don't talk Caucasian, they don't talk Indian, they don't talk nothing else but black.
Right.
How all of a sudden this little third world country want to be so balanced? And as somebody say, you only want to be balanced. You only want to be balanced when it's African emancipation. That's the only time you want to be balanced.
I have an issue.
What you have an issue with? I have an
issue with.
Where's your issue?
My issue is, you see, once what's I'm saying, and I'm talking there, we trying to merge, you trying to merge slavery with indentureship on the same page. I have a big issue that I can't be on the same page.
But that's what the man do. That is what the man do. The minister is saying, here we're going on. The same thing we went through in indentured labor. The same thing, African people.
Same thing.
But them are the religion. They are the religion. He's a Muslim. He is a Muslim. And his family maintain their religion. Islam. The Hindus maintain their name and their religion. They got land. What African people get? Licks. Well, let's send this song for me now. Send the song. No. Shushila. Send me the song.
That's my argument because I say, if it is, you can't do that because first begin, you come here, your ancestors come here and the father was that. Where might come on?
Yours come on a ship named Jesus.
How we come here? We want
on a boat on a slave ship named Jesus.
We have stabbed down a whole like livestock. What you telling about?
What I mean, we telling you about? All you happy, boy. All you happy. And let me tell you something. The reality of it is that a lot of people, while you might be saying all you saying there, a lot of people are supporting that nonsense. You know what I'm telling you?
I know some of them. What's my pastor?
Isn't that a beautiful name?
Just now. Sorry about that. Just now. Right. Sorry. Go ahead.
Listen, you see that talk show? The one who was a DJ, and he will answer us. Means level 2 for now. So don't feel. Me and another.
Your people. All you cutting all here the same place. I don't know how they go in my Ababa.
Different
good we. Ababa good boy. All you good. What is that?
Different days.
Nah, it can't be different days.
I don't see when I go in. Yeah. Now I saying. So I saying. I call my son and tell my son how important it is to stay in school and to be shared in school.
Yeah. But at the end of the day,
at the end of the
day, that is what we dealing with.
You are boy.
Yeah.
You know nothing, boy. It's nothing, you know, boy.
But don't say that, boy. The man getting big money to be on radio, you know.
You didn't know George Michael Chambers was the man.
No, he don't know that. He don't need to know that.
You didn't pass form and do social studies?
But there's a simple Google search, brother. There's a simple Google search, you know what I'm telling you?
Yeah, but all of the passes were supposed to pass form 4 and do social studies and people.
Brother man.
The island you're living on, you're born on.
Yeah, but only happy. Let me take our next call, Liz. Thank you very much. Yeah. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good night, Pastor Google.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I am good. I get catch with DD.
Oh, well, you need to take off. Hold the line 1 minute. Let me just drop this here. Hold the line, eh? Hold the line.
Yeah.
Blue Water's sparkling water. Pure refreshment. Perfectly carbonated.
Yeah, I'm back with you. At the plate. Make sure and get your case.
That's me and you, no?
Make sure and get all your case.
I tell you the story about that water and me. You might not want to stop laughing, but that's another story for another day. Interestingly enough, when he started that business, he was told by a family member that he's a fool and he would never make money. That business will crash.
Yeah, I saw the interview.
There you go. A couple points I want to make in tying in with your first caller.
What's wrong with just now, what's going on there?
This
Sorry about that.
and that recording was something I was going to talk about. It pains me that my Prime Minister carries the accreditation senior counsel. To be an attorney, I had to study history. And it is sad that both herself and Saddam Hussein, as practicing legal people, that all you can remember basic O-level West Indian history as to the difference between indentured laborers and slaves. There's a big difference that went on there. And I'm glad the first caller drew attention to that as to what people went through. That is one. Two, and I'm giving you some homework with this one. I'm daring you, Pastor Google. I am daring you. Go and find the interview that was done with Mr. Roger Alexander and Christmas List and listen to what he said about him seeing Trinidad becoming like Haiti. And then go and look at the interview that he did. I can't remember if it was that same interview or he did another. No, it was another interview that was after. And I think it's when the olive woman was detained under PDO. And the complaint was maybe we need to start treating the internet like how it is treated in China, for there to be restrictions. And now we hear
But I play that how many times? I play that several times, man. I play that here already.
There you go. And the point you are making about an agenda and all that is going on and the game that is being played, wasn't there a gentleman of strong African heritage love within the UNC party called Obika?
Yeah, he just be right here with me sometimes.
Yes, I know. And he left the party, not so?
Yeah. What about Gypsy?
Well, I'm going and spin it again. What about Mr. Lala, who was called a tar baby by people within the party that he was a member of?
Never. You have a video? You have a recording of that?
But all you can't see that, and you want to be angry because a woman made a point that we will not forget. We will remember. But I remember Diddy's plumber getting boo in Skinner Park. I remember Gypsy getting toilet paper in Skinner Park and they bounce back. The problem that you are experiencing is one where people in this government feel they could do whatever they want and they must not be criticized, they must not be held accountable. That is a scare tactic, that is a scary situation that we are walking the road of a creeping dictatorship. People used to say Keith Rowley was a dictator. We don't understand what is a dictator. Sit down and watch your boy talk about reading the Black Jacobins and everything else. Sit down and watch the rise and fall of Idi Amin Dada, and all you will understand what a dictator is and how a dictator operates. Right? Black Stalin told us in song, if we don't know from where we're coming, we can't plan for where we're going. Go back and play your recording that you had just now. I was a counselor with a voluntary organization for more than 12 years. I have been trained to read the diction, the tone of people's voice, to gather where they stand mentally, emotionally, and everything else. And you sit down and listen to that recording of Kamala Prasad-Bissessar when she went after Camille Robinson Regis about the name. You listen to her diction, you watch her body language, and you tell me if all is in order. I'll sit down, relax, and listen up some more, and maybe I'll call back later when Brian calls. I'm sure he must be waiting just like me. So we will be in touch, my brother. Good program. Keep it going.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, man.
Welcome.
The commitment of Trinidad and Tobago, that is the commitment I give to you, and that is the commitment of the cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago. Freedom, freedom, freedom is ours. Freedom is ours. Freedom is ours.
We will remember that you promised food tomorrow while we are hungry today. We will remember that you promised food for tomorrow while we starve today. We will remember.
We hold on to the commitments of our
Bisesa. Isn't that a beautiful name? What problem you have with my name? What's wrong with my name? Yeah, Camille.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Pastor Google.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm okay, my brother. Good evening to all the callers, all the listeners, everybody on this constructive talk. You hear me clearly, right?
Yes, sir.
So, Pastor Google, I want to start my evening by saying, for the emancipation celebration, that lady who came up when Michelle was the MP was speaking, I would like to tip my hat to her this evening. That lady was courageous. That lady had a level of intellectual capacity. That lady had testicular fortitude. That lady made me proud. She was not afraid to confront the MP and tell them the truth. You're telling me about things we're planning for later on when the people hungry now. And Pastor Google, just imagine, the Prime Minister of our nation wouldn't go to Emancipation celebration. He wouldn't go to Independence Day. What it is really going on in our country? And you know what is so sad? You know what is so sad in our country? Some of our own people. Pastor Google, I'll have to call them Toby. I don't know if people remember when the plantation, they were the house niggers, the house niggers.
No, don't use that word. Don't use that. No, you can't use that word on YouTube. Sorry.
House niggers. When we was going on, some of us was going to escape master. They say, Master, the slaves, Master. Master will ask them, what about the slaves? Master, the slaves are getting away. Should I untie the dog? Those house Negroes in this country. Yeah? You're eating a little food, so you eating a little food, whether it's on Wasa State Board, whether it's on the Library, whether it's a director on Knowledge Board, whether you're in Wasa, whether you're in county, wherever all you are, as Afro-Trinidadians in our country, you some of all is standing up. These so-called people on the social media specialists who is of African descent, I want to cry shame on all of today. All the poor parents will be turning in all their graves to see what all they're doing. So all their belly full, and to help with the thousands of African people in this country that suffering and going to struggling because of the decisions of the UNC. They have a new technique now, Pastor Google. They have a new technique now. They're trying to say it's because of PNM, and what about the 9 years ago? It's the decision all they're making now that have over 50,000 African people on the breadline and people on the breadline in all kind of industries in this country, because imagine all they put prioritizing billions of dollars to build houses, to build things so people can get kickback, and all they have people suffering and hungry. Yeah? And all the social media of African descent, I want to cry shame on all it today. Shame. All they get a little cacada in WhatsApp, and all they go on and all they eating some curry in a corner, and all they bringing down all their own people and trying to bash the PNM. And another thing I would like to deal with again, Pastor Google. If they're telling me it's about the 9 years, what about the 9 years? That's the favorite line. What about the 9 years when PNM was in power? Well, PNM ain't doing me like what all they're doing me here. And the next thing all they want to do is jump on PNM and jump on the 1%. Well, let me tell you something. The 1% providing employment for the Afro-Trinidadians in the East West Corner and all over this country and the Caribbean. Think about what all they're doing. Pastor Google, PNM people, Afro-Trinidadians, all they stay strong. and understand the fight and the game. And when the time comes for you to dip all your finger and do what all you have to do, I hope all you come out, get all your children and all your grandchildren and come out and send that message resoundingly to this nation. Pastor Google, thanks again. I get a little emotional, but thanks again for giving me this allowing me to this contribution. I love to and listen, my brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Your name is Toby. I want to hear you say it. Your name is Toby. You're going to learn to say your name. Let me hear you say it. What's your name? Kunta Kinte.
What's your name? Kunta Kinte. That's your name.
Yeah, Camille. At least I have a name for my ancestors. Where you got yours from? Your name is that of a slave master.
So no, Sushila. You didn't have to insult me so, Sushila. Tell me why, Sushila. You couldn't let sleeping dogs just lie, Sushila. A rose by any name will smell as sweet, but not when the name Sushila. Camille starts to beat.
Commitment of Trinidad and Tobago. That is the commitment I give to you, and that is the commitment of the Cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago. Freedom, freedom, freedom is ours. Freedom is ours. Freedom is ours.
We will remember that you promised food tomorrow while we are hungry today. We will remember that you promised food for tomorrow while we starve today. We will remember.
We hold on to the commitments of our
Sushila, why the hell you insult me so, Sushila? Try to cast me in the hole of shame, Sushila. How we have we slave master name, Sushila. But in slavery we had no voice. Master took away every choice. But you dragged up a painful past to tell me we come dead last. I know the code that you want to speak. I lose my name so that makes me weak. It's a sensitive corny mash. That was not Jahaji by brotherhood and the boat. It's Jahaji bash, 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 bash. The race barrier you crash. That was not Jahaji by brotherhood and the boat. It's Jahaji bash. So no, Sushila. You didn't have to insult me so, Sushila. Tell me why, Sushila. You couldn't let sleeping dogs just lie, Sushila.
James.
Slaves were kidnapped as prisoners of tribal war. Some fell in their trap. Why you want to portray us now as soft and weak? When through the cries for reparation, justice we still seek. You came through and dent your ship. Volunteers on a different ship to walk the fields of sugar bound by country.
Commitment of Trinidad and Tobago. That is the commitment I give to you, and that is the commitment of the Cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago. Freedom, freedom, freedom is ours. Freedom is ours. Freedom is ours.
We will remember that you promised food tomorrow while we are hungry today. We will remember that you promised food for tomorrow while we starve today. We
hold on to the commitments of our
and weak. You must think before talking trash. That was not Jahaji by brotherhood and the boat. It's Jahaji bash, 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 bash. You tried to hit me a brutal lash.
you bash implying your kin born free, but my people come from slave. And then you slash all my pride and dignity, trample my grandfather grave. And then you dash all our hopes for unity. Your statement was a disgrace. Emancipation dressing like we, but inside you're preaching race. We boast about equal place in our anthem, but it seems bigotry and race is still the problem. We even have the term tolerance in our watchwords. What must we do when our leaders moving so absurd? Yes, we walk on the plantation, falling rain through the boiling sun. For my ancestors, sugar wasn't sweet. Wasn't so when your people came. So I dig up those days of shame and belt it back in my face like a dirty sheets. So it's not you that I out to bash, Sushila, but your true colors you flash, Sushila. Always preaching about unity, Sushila, but have no sympathy for slavery, Sushila. I know the games of your politics is innuendo put you.
James, your name is Toby. I want to hear you say it. Your name is Toby. You're going to learn to say your name. Let me hear you say it. What's your name?
Kunta Kinte.
James, your name is Toby. I want to hear you say it. Your name is Toby. You're going to learn to say your name. Let me hear you say it. What's your name?
Kunta Kinte.
At least I have a name for my ancestors. Where you got yours from? Your name is that of a slave master. Kamla Sushila Prasad Visesa. Isn't that a beautiful name? What problem you have with my name?
James, your name is Toby. I want to hear you say it. Your name is Toby. You're going to learn to say your name. Let me hear you say it. What's your name?
Kunta.
Tell me why, Sushila? You couldn't let sleeping dogs just lie, Sushila. A rose by any name will smell as sweet, but not when the name Sushila. Camille starts to beat at the brunt of the childish job. Well, she took offense. Let go a load of go bar.
But yeah, but nah, I don't know, but we as a people, I don't know. I take in your calls 464-7003, 464-7003. Let me say thank you to all of you joining me on the live this evening. It's a pleasure to have all of you on with me this evening. I am seeing how much? 661, and I'm seeing 1,631 persons. All right, 1,631 persons are all who haven't subscribed to the page, and I want to appeal to you to subscribe to the page. You know, let's have healthy discussions here on Constructive Talk. The other discussion I wanted to have with you guys is about, I don't know how many of you are aware about what's going on. All right, so one of the things I wanted to highlight was this. Take a listen to this.
So at this point in time, I don't know if there are any questions.
This was May 7th this year, the last time the government had a post-cabinet news briefing. That means for the past 12 weeks or 3 months, the government has not come before the public and journalists in a formal post-cabinet media conference setting to account to the public for the decisions taken around the cabinet table. Decisions made in the name of the people and funded by taxpayers. And there have been pressing issues in the last 3 months. from questions about public procurement matters, controversy around the announcement of data centers, another extension of the state of emergency, low stock of passport booklets, the use of preventive detention orders, and economic and energy-related matters. It should also be contextualized that this is happening at a time when individual ministers are not having media briefings and mainstream media houses are not being invited to certain government functions. Now, we asked a few members of government if there has been a decision to no longer have the post-cabinet briefings, which are not mandated by law, but have become a staple of public governance in this country's modern-day democracy. Minister in the office of the Prime Minister, Nicholas Morris, responded. He said post-cabinet media briefings will continue, but argued that the UNC administration is accountable to the public every day through ministers' announcements, press releases, media engagements, and ongoing work across government. He contended that the government's performance should be judged by its daily delivery and policy implementation, not by a single weekly press conference, contrasting that approach with the previous administration. But the minister did not say why a post-cap briefing has not been held in the last 3 months. However, political analyst Derek Ramsamouj believes that a media briefing should happen after every post-cap session. And while he acknowledges that the government sends press releases on social media, Ramsamouj says that's not enough.
The method adopted by the present government in communicating suggests a level of political, professional, and public insecurity. The population deserves a rigorous question and answer discussion by all stakeholders.
Ramsamouj said US President Donald Trump has set the standard for communication where he speaks with the press in structured, unstructured, formal or informal settings. Meanwhile, the Media Association of Trinidad and Tobago is also expressing concern. Matt says journalists have been unable to question cabinet ministers at a formal press conference for about 3 months, stressing that regular unscripted access to the Prime Minister and ministers is essential in a democracy. Matt said it had written to the Prime Minister seeking a meeting on the issue and other media concerns, and while she initially agreed, the meeting was postponed following a bereavement in her family. The association has since requested a new date and is awaiting a response. And the former communications minister was also critical with the gap in post-cabinet briefings.
It seems as if accountability is now reduced to next to nothing. Is now social media videos of ministers walking into meetings or smiling across a conference room.
Simon Inobriga says this is beyond political affiliation and should be seen as an affront to the entire population. Akash Samaru, CNC3 News.
This evening we have some great news as it relates to the economy and the general well-being of our country. We are joined by the Minister.
So it continues. It continues where the government is not being accountable to you. All right? So it continues. And some of you are not even aware that the government is not even having press conference to keep you up to date on what's going on. I heard that the opposition leader also is calling on the government. Come on. Come on. Let's be real. You can't tell me that you're not having press conferences. That doesn't make any sense. You know? That doesn't make any sense. So I continue to take your calls on 464-7003. 464-7003. That is the number to call.
I said give me a F, A, F, O, and let them know that is the code.
You know, I was supposed to have an interview this evening with an imam. And I lost the man's number, you know. And he was eager to come on to plays, you know. I think he might have get me in trouble. I think that imam that I was going to get to come on to talk and to share with you guys, I feel if he had come on this evening, I might have appealed you. He was real eager real eager to come on to share his views. But earlier, there's another news story that I wanted to play for you guys, that I want to hear your views on. I wonder if I have it here. Where is it? I really wanted to play this story because... Alright, let's take this caller. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Pastor Google.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi, dear.
What? You love Marion?
Yes, I'd always love you.
Oh, yes, I like how that song. What happened?
But here, what happened?
Talk to me.
The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago
Mm-hmm.
is very upset because of what comment people may make about her and that kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But our former Prime Minister, right? He didn't come from a mother. Nobody didn't make him. Eh? The amount of things she said about that man, she should have been sitting in prison all now because he should have put her to court. But the gentleman that he was in that respect, he didn't bother with her. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But she is so good and ladylike that everything people say about her, it is hurting her and they mustn't boo her and they mustn't this. And this is the reason why they have us under state of emergency and all of that. So people can't really give vent to their feelings. But it will come to an end. Right? She can't have her way and be treating people like that. And they investigating Balize House. I want the people who investigating Balize House to do an investigation and all the people that they hire in Wasa and Tech and all about, that they hire all now and see what kind of salary they paying them in comparison to other people who working.
Yep.
And my last point I want to make is with the Emancipation Support Committee, right? I look at the Emancipation Support Committee as a black organization, an African organization, because it is African Emancipation Day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I look at that group coming out of the Black Power movement and thing as a group that will be there to support black people. But when Emancipation Day finishes, what do they do for the black people in the country? You don't hear about them, right? I think they should have been trying to go up into the depressed areas, form committees, get people involved to go in the areas like Mova and all these places where they say they have all these black men that's into crime and whatnot, and see if all they could do something to pull them out, talk to them, keep meetings with them, keep conferences with them to bring them out. But instead of that, it's everybody to their own self. So where are you getting the help to help these poor black men and women too who need? You can't leave everything for the government to do, right? So if we have groups like Emancipation Support Committee and other groups, come out and help these black people, but nobody doing anything for them. So where are we going? Having the big procession Emancipation Day is not all. Some of the black people need help. Some of the young black people need help. Worse again now, look how many of them they put on the breadline. Pastor Google, we need to do better. And our black people in this country need to unite with each other instead of bringing down our brothers and sisters.
Well, I hear you, but you know, in the midst of all that is happening, Mom, and all that we see going on in this country, and we seeing where they attacking us, and they you know, they blaming everything on politics and whatever. Right? They're saying that it's PNM people who come and boo the Prime Minister. It's PNM people who do this. It's PNM people who do that. But you know the reality of it is, Mom, the PNM people.
PNM people alone hungry now, you know.
Well, wait. The PNM who they're saying, right? Get mobilize people to go and boo Miss Bissessa in the savannah, and to boo this one and to boo that one. And there's a young lady on a radio station want to continuously say that the political leader so weak. But how she getting people to do all them things? Let me tell you something now. It wasn't no little bit of people that celebrate that Miss Bissessa not coming in the savannah, you know.
I know, but the fact of the matter is,
but you only they want to quick to condemn her, they quick to pull her down, they quick to say all kind of negative things about her. But the UNC not letting up, you know.
You see, they want to say what they want about the political leader or the People's National Movement.
Mm-hmm.
But what I would say, she's a lady, right? And she will reach where she have to reach as long as God wants her there. Nobody would stop her, right? You don't have to be a orangutan to be a leader. You don't have to be a drunkard to be a leader. Right? You have to be constructive and think constructively and go with God, and He will take you where He wants you to be, and He will do that. When the time is right, God is going to guide us to do the right thing. Right? What they wanted to do, to come out and curse every Monday morning and baptize, not of that ilk. Right? And getting on in that way doesn't make you a leader. Right? You have to think constructively, think of how you will deal with the people, and to be more involved in the people. And that is what she's trying to do. And that's where we left as PNM. We didn't used to mingle with the people too much, except when it's election time. But this is a lady that's climbed mountains and hills anytime. And in precipice, wherever they are, she going. So God will walk with her, and she would make it. So, Pastor Google, I wish the Emancipation Support Committee to come out and do more, and to do more for the black people in the country, and not just stay cloistered. And, you know, I mean, Carnival, they have a little competition and whatnot, and that is not all. Come out and help the black people who are still suffering, because you have modern day slavery in Trinidad now. And especially since 2025, it has gone worse. Pastor Google, have a good night. God bless you.
Thank you very much for your call. Thank you very much. I saw someone was trying to call in just now. You can call now, 464-7003, 464-7003. People are asking, are we going into a police state? Based on announcements made by the Prime Minister this evening, I don't know how many of you heard it, but the Prime Minister made some announcements this evening about police and army being in strategic places in Trinidad and Tobago. So people are asking, are we going into a police state? Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Pastor Google.
Good evening,
nice
sir.
Program as usual. I'm sorry what happened with the culture minister, but remember, it have people who that work for the flavor for the carnival,
And they get paid yet.
She was present when the police attacked Sylvester's band. She never even appeared in the station to take out the people's daughter from the station. They feeding all these things keep piling up. Baptist Liberation, they didn't give permission for Baptist thing in San Fernando, you know. They said they applied late, but she keep it in Moruga. And all these things that keep piling up. Oh my word. And, well, constructive talk, have constructive music too. Because Dr. Leroy Kalisa won. You see, a man from India, they fight in Pakistan, go leave any business to help out African. They say that how we lazy and how we have no skill. So if we don't love we, Tell me who will. Again, you want to put on your thing, the lead Dr. Leroy Callis.
Yeah, but his music is copyrighted. So I may not. I said his music is copyrighted, so I may not be able to play it.
Oh, all right, thank you.
All right, sir. But thanks anyway.
Well, I think you wrote it already.
Yes, yes. But
Yeah.
thanks for the call, though.
Thank you, Doctor.
All right. So yeah, I am listening and I'm watching and I'm wondering, are we going to be a police state just now? Are we going to be a police state is a question I'm asking, because a lot of persons, I don't know how many of you are aware, but a lot of persons are locked up by the PDOs. We have close to 400 and something persons locked up. And on top of that, we're seeing where they see, hey, somebody call and they hang up, all right? And we're seeing where now the Prime Minister is how to put it, boy. I'm gonna play it for you all in a little bit. What she is planning to do with the police. It's amazing. It's interesting. So I want you guys to find out for me. Are we going into a police state? Are we? Or are we just sitting back and watching to see how this thing will pan out? Because it's getting very interesting day by day. All right? Day by day. And we're not getting any statements from the cabinet, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. She is sending us messages on WhatsApp, Facebook, and all the others. But again, there's a call made by the opposition leader that the Prime Minister and the government owes us an explanation of what's going on in Trinidad and Tobago.
Welcome back. Opposition leader and Arima MP Penelope Beckles is raising concerns over what she describes as bureaucratic delays affecting vulnerable citizens. Speaking at a Thanksgiving service marking Arima's 138th anniversary as a Royal Chartered Borough at Bethel World Outreach Ministries on Sunday, Beckles highlighted the case of a modern social development office located near the Arima market. The office was commissioned 16 months ago and fully outfitted, but remains closed and unavailable to members of the public. She said the delays are particularly troubling as many citizens continue to wait years for essential state assistance, including senior citizens' pensions and public assistance grants.
Sometimes we say that's part of the politics and that's part of the patience. But there are many of you here who have come to me for challenges for your pension and your public assistance, and now it's taken almost 2 and 3 years for persons to get their pension and public assistance.
The Arima MP also addressed the issue of public confidence in leadership, noting that trust in politicians remains low and must be rebuilt through integrity and service.
And it's not always easy to serve. It is not always easy to understand that when you take that oath to serve, humility is required, less arrogance, and a greater understanding that whilst a lot of people don't think that politicians are honest, you really make the choice, ultimately, to serve in truth and with integrity.
Turning to the wider economic situations, Beckles also noted she has seen an unprecedented demand for food, hampers, and school supplies from constituents.
I said give me a F, and let them know that is the code.
I pledge to you all
that I will be a leader who in turn listens, and that my decisions will only be arrived at after collaboration and always, always, always in interest of what best serves Trinidad and Tobago. There is no room for personal egos, no time for personal agendas, and no opportunity for self-glorification. This is not about us. It is about the people, and they have the power to dismiss us at any time.
If you're UNC, if you're TPP, PNM, PEP, or any other affiliation, I see you. You'll be treated equally and fairly. I made a promise that everybody will win, and I plan to fulfill that promise.
I said give me a F, and let them know that is the code. Oh Lord, some say the code is this, some tell me it's that, but I don't hear the facts. Give me.
So, you just heard it. It's real interesting, you know. I tell you, I don't know, you know. I don't know. I tell you, I met a friend today. He didn't vote. He didn't vote. He tell me he didn't vote. I said, you didn't vote, boy? He said, no, I didn't vote. I said, so you are we in this mess, boy? He said, oh, gosh. I said, yeah, you are we in this mess because you didn't vote. I said to him, if you did vote, you would not be in this mess we in here today. He said, wee boy. You see, I said, I'm telling you, you's part of the problem. You part of the problem. Didn't vote. So, you know, you feeling bad now. You know, and then I tell him about the program and thing. So I feel he locked on. I don't know if he locked on as yet, but I think he's supposed to be locked on. Take a listen to this Trinidad and Tobago. What's going on? So the Prime Minister is going to put us in well, people are asking, are we going into a police state? It's a question that people are asking. Are we going to eventually end up in a police state? That's one. Two, what's going on with our economy? What's going on with the what's going on with our economy, and what's happening with the job loss. There are a lot of job loss that's happening. So take a listen to this, Trinidad and Tobago. Take a listen quickly, because I know a lot of you missed it in the news. So what you may have missed in the news, let me play it for you now. All right. So a lot of you may have missed it, but I'm going to play it now for you. Take a listen to this.
Top of the news. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar has announced that 30 joint army and police posts will be established across the country over the next 4 months as part of the government's crime-fighting efforts.
Persad-Bissessar made the announcement in a social media post this evening, saying many communities have long been calling for stronger security presence. She says the posts will help residents feel safer and reclaim public spaces while encouraging NGOs, business groups, community organizations, and councils to support the initiative. 22 locations were identified by the Prime Minister for these posts, with 6 more locations still to be identified. The Prime Minister also thanked Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara, Strategic Services Agency Director Alicia Henry, Chief of Defence Staff Commodore Don Polo, Prison Service Superintendent Elvin Scanterbury, and their teams for their efforts in tackling crime. She reaffirmed the government's commitment to what she described as ending the grip of crime on the nation. The current state of emergency comes to an end in September. The murder toll to date is 222, 10 fewer than what was recorded last year for the same period.
Trade union leaders are warning that Trinidad and Tobago cannot afford to ignore
Right. So, what do you think? We going to a police state or we not going to a police state? What do you think? We going to a police state or we not going to a police state? Because I don't understand what's going on there. Alright? I don't understand what's happening. If any of you could answer me that, I'll take your call. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening to you and good evening to all your viewers.
Do you think that we're going into a police state?
Maybe, because I have some information where I've heard, I wouldn't divulge it here, but all this distraction with race baiting and so forth is where the government basically maybe creating grounds to create another state of emergency when this one expires in middle of September the 18th, I think. Right? Also, that same report that you just played there, right? Do you remember about a week ago, the Minister of Homeland Security announced that after a bloody day or weekend in Movant, that there's a brewing gang war that's building up in Movant. With these 30 locations, since they announced 20, go ahead. Oh, these 30 locations, they announced 24. How come those areas, according to the Homeland Security Minister, there's a brewing gang war? How come there was none announced in those areas? Since those areas were one of the main focuses considering bringing a Zozo, not so?
Yeah.
Why would none of those areas mention, and also not even in the Prime Minister's constituency, they put pop-up booths, joint patrol booths? I find that very, very interesting. Very interesting. Is she basically trying to punish certain areas where only 2 out of the 24 in so-called PNM areas that you mentioned, there's extra joint patrols? But certain core areas, according to your government, official utterances are being ignored. I find that very troubling, and also we could be going to a police state. Also pay attention to what former Commissioner Griffith said.
What you say?
This strategy wouldn't work. This is basically 1970s policing. You don't need extra police force.
That's what he said?
Yes, that's what he said. This is old-fashioned policing.
Okay.
Because if you create these posts and you don't properly staff this and so forth, you just basically having joint patrol officers in the offices basically do nothing, where you need manpower out on the streets.
Okay, I didn't know that he made a statement. Mm-hmm.
Right? So, in other words, he basically saying this strategy will not work. You need to try something different. You don't have no new ideas, new modern day policing methods.
Okay, I will look for it and see what he has to say.
Right, just go on his Facebook post, you'll see it's a long message.
All right.
I find this troubling because at the end of the day, you're seeing crime happening in so-called areas, so-called PNM areas, and you're not. Everybody would have thought that you would have put immediately 1 or 2 police post joint patrols there. But if you watch all the areas, most of them are in so-called upscale UNC areas. Take a note of that too. Have a good night, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for bringing that to my awareness. We're going to listen over the list and see what the caller is talking about. But I want to play the economy. I want to play what's going on with the jobs in Trinidad and Tobago. I want to play this for you because I think this is important. All right. So take a listen to this, Trinidad and Tobago.
Leaders are warning that Trinidad and Tobago cannot afford to ignore rising unemployment, saying job losses are threatening not just workers, but the country's economic future.
Raising concern tonight are the Communication Workers Union and the Seamen and Waterfront Workers Trade Union in light of the Central Statistical Office's latest labor force figures of 6,000 people losing their jobs in the first quarter of 2026. The unemployment rate also increased, rising from 4.3% in the fourth quarter of 2025 to 5.4% in the first quarter of 2026. The increase coincided with the loss of nearly 6,000 jobs over the three-month period. CWU Secretary General Joanne Ogier says every job lost ripples through the wider economy, reducing spending, increasing pressure on social services, and putting more families at risk. She says employment and decent work must be at the center of the country's economic policy.
These figures demand more than just acknowledgement. They require decisive action to stimulate job creation. As a matter of fact, more job creation or alternative job creations, protecting existing employment, encouraging investment, and ensuring that workers are not just treated as expendable in the pursuit of short-term financial gains. We have seen and we continue to say, when thousands lose their livelihoods in just one quarter, it is not just workers who suffer. The entire economy pays the price.
SWWTU President General Michael Anisette agrees, but says the response must go beyond government alone and include tripartite partners and stakeholders.
While I hear what the CSO is saying, and I will have to take their figures, but from where we sit as the trade union movement, and when we go into several communities, we wonder whether those persons are in the system to be checked, because there are people who don't even apply for, who stay on the block every day.
Anisette says the country also needs creative ways to prepare young people for the changing world of work, warning that failing to act now could create even deeper social and economic problems.
Well, with more people out of work, economists say the latest labor force survey is painting a worrying picture of the economy.
The economists say rising unemployment does not just affect those looking for jobs. They warn it can squeeze household budgets, weaken business confidence, and slow economic growth. Keisha Kaulesa Alonso has more.
Economist Dr. Marlene Atz is warning that Trinidad and Tobago's latest unemployment figures represent more than just statistics, saying thousands of households are now facing increased financial pressure. Atz says the impact of about 6,000 job losses recorded between January and March this year, according to data from the Central Statistical Office, extends far beyond those who became unemployed.
The real impact of these job losses is felt around the kitchen table, and it comes down to whether families can afford groceries, whether they can pay the mortgage or in many cases the rent, or whether they can purchase medication or have the financial wherewithal to put a healthy meal on the table.
Atz notes the latest job losses come on top of an estimated 5,000 workers affected by the closure of several government programs last year, adding to pressure on livelihoods. She also points to the closure of Nutrien, uncertainty surrounding Methanex operations, and recent announcements involving private sector companies as signs of broader economic challenges.
We have to look at them together and see them as some signs of the economic health of Trinidad and Tobago and a reflection of some of the broader economic challenges facing the country.
Meanwhile, economist Dr. Ronald Ramkissoon says while the latest labor force report contains some positive indicators, including an increase in labor force participation, the figures should be interpreted carefully.
We don't take one quarter or one data and make a lot out of it, because of course the data as the year progresses and as we get more recent data can change, either increasing the unemployment rate or decreasing that rate.
He also cautions against assuming that growth in the energy sector will automatically generate jobs.
If the emphasis and the hope is pinned on the energy sector, we must be aware that the energy sector is not a high employment area. it is capital intensive, which means it is more capital and less employment.
Ramki soon advises that policymakers should focus on sustained employment growth across the wider economy.
Geisha Kaules Alonso, CNC3 News.
So I know that was long, but I hope that you listened to it. I hope that you hear it for yourself, that the economy of Trinidad and Tobago, what about the economy and also about the unemployment rate? All of us knew that those numbers wasn't adding up, you know. All of us knew that. Every single one of you out there knew that those numbers wasn't adding up. Wasn't adding up. So I'll take a few more calls. All right, I'll take a few more calls. 464-7003. 464-7003. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good afternoon, Pastor.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Sir, I'm not surprised.
You're not surprised of what?
With this move by the Prime Minister and the Homeland Security Minister.
Yes, that is Mr. Roger Alexander.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Why are you not surprised?
They can't call an SOE.
Why they can't call an SOE?
Well, the backlash will get. If they do think about calling an SOE, the backlash will get. And then too.
What? Wait, just now. I lost. Where's the backlash they'll get if they call an SOE?
You really believe how you believe the country will take that?
Will take an SOE?
Yeah, yes, sir. For no reason, yes, sir.
They do have a choice.
And they have to go to Parliament.
They go to
Parliament.
Uh-huh.
Yes, they have the majority in the I think the upper house, right? But
no, in the lower house. They have the majority in the lower house.
Yeah, the lower house, right? But they have to fit in the independent side. That's what not.
And you don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that. But
Well,
what
right,
I'm
like
saying,
you said,
what I'm saying
right.
is that they remember only the people of Trinidad and Tobago voted
Right, yeah, I understand.
voted for this government.
Mm-hmm. But what is ironic, right? It is as if, to me, those checkpoints are there for one reason. It's not to prevent crime. It is more or less to make people feel better. Yes, sir?
All right, yeah, listening to you. Yes.
Yeah, because when I check it out, it looks like it's not. We really don't know no checkpoint to make sure you curb any crime or along yes, but it's more or less to make sure the so-called hierarchies feel better.
The so-called hierarchy is what?
Feel better unite. Because when I see that some of these places where the checkpoints are, I'm like, okay, checkpoint there, all right. I don't know. Given the fact, but I'm a member of the regiment under normal circumstances, cannot stop and search civilians. Where's the real, how is it going to work?
Well, let's wait and see.
They can't say wait and see. Because soldiers can. Being the next school, I can tell you, there is no legislation in a democracy. A democratic society, where a military personnel can stop and search a civilian. Anytime we do that, we can no longer call this a democracy.
Well,
where you have soldiers stopping and searching civilians, we are no longer. We can never call this a democracy anymore.
Yeah, but sir, are we really in a democracy? Based on how we see things going right now in this country, are you comfortable to say that we are in a democracy?
Well, it looks nothing like a democracy because he doesn't see the government. Look point taken again. We hear anything to social media. Thank God for social media. Because if it had not social media, how would they have run the country? Because 11 weeks now, we
like Kings Levi.
Say again?
Nothing.
Maybe is over. You want to tell me 11 weeks now? We can't see it.
Well,
and you're staying in the house and just saying things via social media.
Yeah, because all your PNM people want to boo.
I didn't vote for them because
she said all your PNM people want to boo her. So she's not coming out. All you too disrespectful. All you out of place.
But still stay in the seven because I mean
she coming out for independence. Only will give all a chance to boo for independence, okay?
I am because our girlfriend me think she's a realize.
Sir, have a good evening. Have a good evening, sir. Have a good night. You have a good night, eh? You have a good night, sir. Okay? All right, sir. Thank you very much. Oh, they want to put me in a PDO. I don't know that the lady cannot reach up the road for that time. But the lady may just surprise some of you. And the lady may just give you all an opportunity to boo her. All right? So we're looking at the economy. We're looking at job loss. A lot of persons losing their jobs. 6,000 persons lost their jobs from January to March. 6,000 persons, and then we're looking at that Miss Arts is saying that, hey, this is going to go deeper than what we think it is. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Pastor Google.
Good evening, sir.
It's Roy late.
Okay.
So forgive me if I am not accurate with what you're saying, what you're talking about.
Well, we're talking about tonight on the news that this
6,000.
Right, and also tonight in the news, we looked at other statements that are being made about they talked about the Prime Minister has now asked that the military and the police go and protect certain areas in Trinidad and Tobago and stuff like that. So those are some of the things we're looking at. We looked at
Pastor Google, let me tell you this. Roger Hussein said about a couple of weeks ago that don't mind people were sent home by the government, that the employment levels have increased.
Well,
Roger Hussein said that the economists, the big economists that you see on the TV every morning.
Well, he would have said that based on statistics coming from Central Bank.
Really? So
yeah.
Then who writes, CSO or Central Bank?
Well, I don't. Well, remember CSO is writing to Central Bank. Remember, I had Obika here one day. I think it was a Thursday. I had Obika here, and Obika says that is how our economists operates with figures.
You know, it's amazing. It's amazing, eh? Last year, they said the economy crashed. And people, how many people? 60,000 people lost their work and all kind of thing. They were saying last year, in 10 years, that PNM was in office. In 3 months, 6,000 plus people lose their job. And the economy, and they say better days are here. They say better days coming anymore, you know. They say better days are here. In light of what they're saying, better days are here for who? When people can't afford, you still looking for people to help you to get book bags and school books and pens and pencils and so on for people who can't afford. You, Pastor Google, not me, you. John Benoit and many others still looking for help for children who can't afford to buy books and school bags and pens and pencils and so on. But better days are here for who? Who the better days are here for? 6,000 in 3 months. This is the first 3 months of this year. 6,000 people have lost their jobs. 6,000, not 600, 6,000 people have lost their jobs. And we ain't getting figures for the second 3 months yet. But we waited on those figures as well to find out how many more have lost their jobs. People are losing jobs. Last year, people lost their jobs as well. And we still hearing economists like Roger Hossein saying that the employment levels are up. Where he getting his figures from? People they are fooling us as they are accustomed doing. They are fooling us. $6,000. So who lying to who? Who fooling who? And people still can't afford it. People begging right now for school books. Things are so slow. You go down High Street in Sanford and you pass the Google and you can see how dismal things are. Dismal in San Fernando. Dismal. You go into the stores. You go in detour these places. Nobody is smiling with you now because they're begging you to buy something. You asking, I telling you, I've been there. They're begging you. What you want? We'll get it for you. They're begging you to buy. That is San Fernando. That's San Fernando. And I have people like Roger who are saying big major economists on a morning on primetime TV telling me that employment is up, fooling the people. They say PNM like 64,000 people and they crashed the economy in 10 years. But in 3 months, 6,000 people lost their job. I spoke to a young lady just this weekend who has a degree in tourism and doing a master's and told me that she was let go by this government, not working. She called back home by her mother. Because I called him mother, only to bother to tell me, hey, so and so here. I said, what? Yeah. Home. Because can't afford to pay the mortgage. Can't afford to pay the mortgage that you're accustomed to pay for their own home. Back home by the mother. This was going on in Trinidad and Tobago. And people fooling you and telling you everything good, better days are here. When we win, all you winning too? Really? That is not happening, Pastor Google. It is not happening, and people are in shock. It's a shock to the people of Trinidad and Tobago because they can't understand where they're getting money to pay the insurance, to pay the light bill, to pay the little money the owing courts. They have these people on their back. They're not even answering the phone because of the level of monies that they owing people, the mortgages, the loans and so on. They can't afford it. While some of us may be saying, well, nobody ain't calling me, really, but the people getting calls. People getting calls. I could tell you, I spoke to a friend of mine working in courts, and they're telling me that, hey, we on the phone every day to people who owing us and can't pay. And some of them not answering the phone. They have to send people by the house. This is what's going on in Trinidad and Tobago right now. And they're telling us better days are here. Better days are here for who? This is the issue in Trinidad and Tobago. And people don't want to accept it. People don't want to face it. They're barely talking about it on the TV. They're barely talking about it. It's only when you get the stats, the real stats. And they want to shut down CSO again. It's the same thing they did in 2010 to 2015 with CSO. They separated the people so they couldn't do the figures. I think they want to do it again this time. So you wouldn't get figures. And they want to instill people into the CSO so they'll get divergence of figures. I wouldn't want to to tell you, well, I don't worry about where you care yesterday. That is not true. And you have economists telling you that everything good. Lying to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Lying to us. But it's only when you feel it and you get your phone calling and your phone ring and they say, hey, what about my money? Then you know by how barley growing. Then you know. Lies upon lies. You're going to come tomorrow and tell us something almost the same thing again tomorrow, Pastor Google. You will come back tomorrow, and I wait for you to come back tomorrow to tell us exactly what is going on again. Because you know it. You seeing it. Every time you come, every week you come, you beg for what? Water. But they want to open these buildings that would take water from us. But you come on every week and ask, and you bring on your friend. You want to wash your balls.
My friend.
You want to wash your balls because you have no water. But certain areas getting water. Certain areas, Pastor Google, getting water. No questions asked. But certain areas not getting any at all. Why is that? Why is that? These are the things we have to talk about. Certain areas getting water, certain areas not getting any at all. Why? Why? It is a crying shame in this country that what this government is doing to the people and telling us. People, the Port of Spain City Corporation workers, 1,300. I listen to the union rep. Damn mad because the money has allotted to them in the mid-year review. In the mid-year review, money was allotted to them for the increase. Up to now, they can't get it. Why? Because they are the lowest paid in the country. The lowest paid can't get their money allotted to them. In the mid-year review, money was allocated for them, these 1,300 workers. They can't get it. The lowest paid in the country. And they can't get their money. That was allotted. That was allotted to them. But guess who get the money? Guess who get the money up front early o'clock last year? Government. Them get the increase and they get a back pay one time in cash. Nobody ain't talking about that. Because them get the money. And when month end come, they get the money too. I wonder if the MPOPs workers get the money yet that allotted that they were supposed to get. That they haven't gotten as yet. They get the money yet? Or is this still a clerical error? These are the things we're going to talk about.
Well, let me see. I will call KFC and ask him. To KFC, what
call them and ask them.
Let me ask him.
They get the money yet? Yes or no?
I'm going to call KFC
These
and ask him.
These are the issues. But we damn sure who getting the money when month end comes on time. 3 days before the end of the month. Them get the money. Them get no clerical error there. No, sir. They get their money. But everybody else, clerical error. Things have to recalculate. For who? and the Port of Spain workers doing a job as the union boss say, that nobody want to do, and them can't get the increase. What a crying shame in this country. Everybody's saying now and rock back and taking it like it is nobody's business. It's our business. Things hard. And they're going to get worse because school going to open within a month's time. And then we will see where barley grow and how many children going to school and how many books could afford to be bought and so on. That coming. Hold on. Time to come.
All right.
See you later.
Let me call KFC. Let me call KFC. So we will end the program with KFC. Let me see if KFC will tell us if they get paid. KFC should be able to tell us if they get paid. KFC. Right. Only we calling KFC to see if they get paid. Alright, so we calling KFC earlier. We calling KFC to see. Oh gosh, don't do me that now. I'm gonna call KFC to see if he get paid. We calling KFC to see if he get paid. A long time KFC ain't call the program. Hey, he answer. Don't talk shit on this now. KFC? Aha. It's ringing, man. KFC, walking on there. Well, don't do me that. Don't do me that. Don't do me that. Hey, KFC ain't taking my call earlier. KFC not taking my call. No answer. Hey, alright. Alright, my brother. Alright. Let me see if he go answer now. He answer. So earlier, I tried to get onto KFC to see if the NPAT workers get paid. KFC answer. KFC you must get banned from this program. You must get banned. KFC, I calling to find out if they get paid. So my voice don't tell me if they get paid now. The citizens of Trinidad and Tobago want to know. Constructive talk. Did you get paid as yet? Alright, I sent them my voice note earlier. Alright, I saw somebody was trying to call him when I was calling KFC. You can call now. 464-7003. 464-7003. You can call now. Share your views. Yeah, nah, only saw this video. Come in, only saw this video. While I wait for the call.
Another major problem, Solution Road. And what is even sad is that Wassel comes every day here to turn the water on and off. Right now, there's no water in the line, so it's dry.
So this is a Turncock area?
Yeah. So this is what St. Lucian Road looks like at this time. This is what St. Lucian Road looks like at this time. And we continue to plead with the ministerial works. Show this one, look at this. Look at this. We continue to plead with the ministerial works to do their part. We are pleading, we are begging. Councillor James is pleading. We need help, Minister.
Standing here for the last 5 minutes. And the amount of vehicles and the amount of vehicles out there. When will the SCP address?
This is what we're dealing with. Councillor.
When will the SCP address? Take out 2 vehicles to pass on the road simultaneously. One has to pause, one has to divert.
Look at this. I'm out with Councillor Keita James and Councillor Williams. Look at this.
Wow. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
So, just to touch on what Brian just said with that young lady who doing a master's in tourism. Dr. Rowley
she ain't doing it. She ain't doing it. She have a master's in tourism.
Oh, she has a master's then. Well, when Dr. Rowley retired, his last press conference was in Tobago. He said he never give up trying to invite Sandals here. The late Butch Stewart's son, Adam, he invited him to try and rekindle the prospect of having Sandals here. That kind of quality expertise would have been very useful to operate and manage a hotel like that. All of a sudden, since after that happened and the election came, all of a sudden you're not hearing anything from Farley and there about Sandals. They're going quiet. But yet they want to diversify the economy. With the clip you played about the economy, Dr. Ronald Rankisoon said they're hoping all the energy deals that the PNM put in place kind of bear fruit and they'll start to get revenue from that and try to create industry from that. But as he said, that is mainly capital intensive. And the evidence of that, of why they're hoping for that to come to pass sometime late next year, is that one of the first clips you played when you started your program tonight is the new ambassador to Trinidad from the U.S. government, herself being interviewed in the Senate committee, where she said, well, right now we are working with the government of Trinidad concerning energy deals and so forth. However, she also said the country is currently under rolling states of emergency, which is very concerning. Now you want to generate revenue and economic growth because the UNC's plan was, well, we will collaborate with the United States and we hope that they will help us force Delcy Rodriguez to talk to us to get the Dragon deal over the line. That's the main diplomatic foreign policy with the United States. They'll do everything that they say, hoping that Donald Trump, through Marco Rubio, will call Delcy Rodriguez and say, hey, what? Talk to Kamala Prasad-Bisesana and her administration considering the Dragon gas deal to get it over the line. Talk to them. Answer the call. Because you clearly see that they don't have any viable option of generating economic growth here. They say data centers. But all of a sudden, those companies who bring in data centers here are just coming to benefit with our cheap electricity and water rates. They're not going to train personnel here to operate those. They already have their staff and so forth already catered for. You might create short-term construction jobs, but those data centers only operate for the most just over 100 people, and they already have their specialists in the pipeline for that when that comes operational. And on top of that, you want to revitalize the energy sector, but methanol plants are shutting down. 2 already shut down. How many more? How many more is going to shut down? You're talking about you want to open a steel mill, reopen the steel mill. That was already in place under Dr. Rowley. Because I think in 2023, they announced a new potential buyer was coming that they were in negotiations with to reopen the steel mill. So you basically going to accelerate that. Hoping to create some jobs. That would be good. But they say they're projected to get $1.5 billion annually over time in revenue. You have not put out a proper plan explaining that. How are they going to achieve that? What markets do you have to sell those steel to? As to why ArcelorMittal crashed in the early days of the PNM reign in 2016. Because their markets, they were uncompetitive. What market research have they done to restart that steel mill that they plan to? I know for sure the PNM did market research. And the discussions that they were having with a potential buyer of the steel mill had done their market research. But they were still in the negotiation phase to finally sign off on the agreement. It's not just like that. You restart a plant where you manufacture steel. Yes, you want to recycle tires and so forth, but if you don't have market to sell the excess capacity, you're wasting your time in the business. So we are in very tough economic times. Brian mentioned 6,000 persons unemployed in the first quarter of this year.
Well, that's something I played from the news, caller. So
yes,
yeah.
Yes.
So the time now, it's what time now?
All right.
Yeah. It's 11:38.
Yeah, take care.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much. Sorry about that, caller, but I don't really like to go too late because people just complain when I go too long. All right. So just wanted to just let you know that now. Next time, call earlier. When I'm begging people to call, all they doesn't want to call. All they want to call when the program's supposed to end. The program's supposed to end at 11 o'clock. And let's give all a little grace. Time. You know what I mean? So let's make all the calls. And I play all the clips early. So let's try and get all the calls in earlier. So that we can, you know what I mean, end the program at a reasonable time. Because I don't live alone, you know. One, and two, I have neighbors. So when I talking and thing and carrying on conversation, it's not just like an in-house thing. People just hear. It's not a treated room that I'm in. So neighbors hearing. I try to get a little headset in my ears so that it wouldn't bother, you know, people who are around. But that doesn't mean that I should go over the time. All right. Tomorrow, please God, we're gonna try to. I'm gonna talk to the imam and see if I can get him to come on the program. This week, I only want to try to get Commander Dindial from the NTA, and also I'm gonna try to get my father on and again some other voices. I know that I've been talking to you guys about the youth program. Let me tell you something. The reality of it is that the young people want to come on, but most of them are working government jobs contract. And if they only come on this program and open up their mouth, they may lose their job. So I'm trying to find other young persons who are more self-employed. And even the self-employed ones are saying to me, Pastor Google, I want to come on, you know. But there is the level of discrimination that can take place. All right. So that's something that, you know, I just said, let me share with you guys that, hey, young people have the issues. All right. So take a listen to this before I leave.
Top of the news, Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar has announced that 30 joint army and police posts will be established across the country over the next 4 months as part of the government's crime-fighting efforts.
Persad-Bissessar made the announcement in a social media post this evening, saying many communities have long been calling for stronger security presence. She says the posts will help residents feel safer and reclaim public spaces while encouraging NGOs, business groups, community organizations and councils to support the initiative. 22 locations were identified by the Prime Minister for these posts, with 6 more locations still to be identified. The Prime Minister also thanked Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara, Strategic Services Agency Director Alicia Henry, Chief of Defence Staff Commodore Don Polo, Prison Service Superintendent Elvin Scanterbury, and their teams for their efforts in tackling crime. She reaffirmed the government's commitment to what she described as ending the grip of crime on the nation. The current state of emergency comes to an end in September. The murder toll to date is 222, 10 fewer than what was recorded last year for the same period.
All right, so 10 less than same period last year. 10 less. Will you really believe that? Will you really believe that? I do believe that. If you really believe that, then me only say yes or no. Somebody said, Pastor Google, 500 at the end of your program. Yeah, 500 people on. But there's 1,980 persons looking who have not subscribed to the page, and I want to encourage the 1,980 of you, please subscribe to the page. Please subscribe to the page. Please subscribe to the page. All right? Do you all think that after you will stop the SOE? And Brian, I'll be really quick because I'm looking to close
I'll
off
be
now.
very quick.
Thank you.
Do you realize every time they call the murder toll is always less than the previous year? You realize that?
Yeah,
Let me ask you a question. There was a double murder in Valencia. You heard it on the news?
No.
No, you know why? Because there are many murders you don't hear. The bodies that they're finding, you're hearing about them on the news? No. There'll always be less. They'll never ever pass. According to them, they'll never ever. But it has gone way past that. I have a police officer friend who is telling me that the murder toll is way past last year. But you can't talk. You can't come out and say that. It has gone past. But you will never ever hear it on the news. You always say that the murder toll is always less than the previous year. And that is the mantra that they are pushing. They will continue to do it, Pastor, because that is what they have to do. The Kakama say was more than last year. How we gonna look? How we gonna look? Oh, good night.
Thank you very much. All right, so Trinidad and Tobago, there's where I have to leave it. Just want to say to the people who are on the live, boy, thank you all very much for your support. Thank you very much for staying on. And yeah, the 1,900 of you, please subscribe to the page now and just let just come on and let the numbers look like what reflecting what those of you who are on. You understand what I'm saying? This 1,900 of you just sitting there, you wouldn't subscribe to the page. Why? You think that they would be able to follow you, or they'll be able to know who you are? Huh? That is why you're not subscribing to the page. Come on, man, just subscribe to the page and let me get this thing done with. Over and done with. You know what I mean? 900 and something of you. You're right there, though. And they would subscribe to the page. Oh, come on. I'll appreciate it a whole lot if you all really subscribe to the page. And I'm gonna show the nation. This is you see, this 980 persons are persons who are not who haven't subscribed to the page. Right? Those are persons who haven't subscribed to the page. And those are persons who just be watching the program, Watch this here. Viewers. You see it? The viewers. I want to show it now, the viewers. 1,980 of you. You're looking at the program and you would not subscribe to the show. Why? Why you don't subscribe? Subscribe to the show, please, and thanks. I'll really appreciate it. If when I get up in the morning, I see I have 4,000 subscribers. 4,980 subscribers. Oh gosh, that will make my day. That'll make my day. All right. So again, thank you all very, very much for being a part of Constructive Talk. I had to show it. I know some of you might be stupid and say, "Oh gosh, I'm to he by." No, but I had to show it because it has some people to believe that I have those kind of numbers watching the program. You know what I mean? So just subscribe to the page now. All right. I am getting notifications, but I am not getting notifications, but I'm here because you had to subscribe to the page. You had to subscribe to the page. Look, the numbers going up to 1,990. Oh yeah. Have a good evening. Thank you very much for being a part of Constructive Talk. And you know what now? Make sure and get your keys, Oh yeah, make sure and get your keys.
Blue Water's sparkling water. Pure refreshment. Perfectly carbonated. Blue Water's sparkling water. Pure refreshment. Perfectly carbonated. Blue Water's sparkling water. Pure refreshment. Perfectly carbonated.
Make sure and get your case. Make sure and get your case. Don't let nobody talk you out of buying it, right? You are telling earlier. Make sure and get all your case. I'm a cousin who done all that case already. Anyway, this Friday, Yaka and friends are having a back to school drive where in Pleasantville. So if you live in the South area, you can get in contact with Yaka and friends in Pleasantville on the circular. I'll give you the address. I'll give you the proper address tomorrow. Please go. But they're having their back to school primary school drive. So it's for primary school students. If you want to get school books, you have to come with your book list. So when you walk with your book list, they will go through the book list and they will be able to tell you if you can get some of the books for your children to go back to school. So Yaka and friends are having their back to school drive this Friday in Pleasantville Circular. I'll give you the correct address and I'll try and get a number for you to contact them. So those of you who live in the South area would be able to get your back to school supplies for primary school children. Have a blessed one. Trinidad and Tobago, stay strong. Please stay blessed. Have a good night.
The information provided by the speakers and or presenter on Facebook and YouTube is for general informational purposes only. All information is provided in good faith. However, Constructive Talk makes no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of this information.